Let's talk about the 130-hour rule. Let's talk about how to transform your body. You want to know why LeBron James is great at basketball? Because he does it all the time. You want to know why Michael Phelps is the greatest swimmer and arguably the greatest Olympic athlete of all time? Because he lived in a pool. You want to lose that fat, you want to build that muscle, you want to get shredded, you want to make a transformation, you're going to have to work for it. You need to be invested an hour a day, 5 days a week for 6 straight months. You have to put in effort. You have to pay the cost. And there's no way to cheat it. There are no magic pills. There are no shortcuts. The question is, what are you willing to give? What are you willing to pay? Then you will make a transformation. Then you will see a meaningful change. Then you will lose that fat, build that muscle, get shredded, like have the body of your dreams, like whatever your goals are. But you have to put in the time and effort. My name is Bobby Maximus, and today I want to talk to you about how to get more fit. I want to talk to you about how to lose fat, how to build muscle, how to get shredded, how to make an incredible, eye-popping transformation. And the way we're going to do that, it's something called the 130-hour rule. But we'll get to that in a minute. First of all, I want to introduce who I am and why you should listen to me. Because I think especially in the fitness industry, credentials matter. So a little bit about me. Men's Health named me one of the 100 fittest men of all time. I've written numerous articles for Men's Health. I've been featured numerous times. I wrote a best-selling book for Men's Health called Maximus Body. I fought in the UFC. I've won in the UFC. I've won submission of the night in the UFC. So I've competed at literally the highest level in the world. I've really worked with every kind of human being that you can imagine. So now that we've established some form of credibility, let's talk about the 130-hour rule. Let's talk about how to transform your body. Now, the 130-hour rule, it's something that's featured in my book, Maximus Body, again, a bestseller through Men's Health. And it's something that every time I post about the 130-hour rule on social media, people go crazy over it. There's people who agree with it, and there's people who absolutely hate it. And I'm going to tell you why they hate it. Because the 130-hour rule highlights the fact that there are no magic pills, there are no shortcuts, there's no such thing as a free lunch, and there are no 3 easy payments of $9.99. If you want to be fit, you want to lose that fat, you want to build that muscle, you want to get shredded, you want to make a transformation, you're going to have to work for it. And you're going to have to work really hard for it. It's not going to take you a week. It's not going to take you 2 weeks. It's not going to take you a month. You're looking at 3 to 6 months of really, really, really hard work. And when I post about it, people start crying in the comments. You're going to overtrain. You can't train that hard. You can't train that hard. I've told you before, I don't believe in overtraining for the average person. For a high-level professional athlete, sure. For an Olympic athlete, sure. For people that are putting in 1,000 hours a year, and what does that look like? 20 hours of hard training a week. Yes, I believe in overtraining. You're not going to overtrain showing up to the gym for an hour every day. So let's break down what this 130-hour rule is. Someone asked me once, how long does it take for a person to see a meaningful change? If you had anyone in the world to train, how quickly could you transform their body? And I started to think about it. And really, the answer for me, in all my experience, was for me to really see a meaningful change in a person. And if we're going under the assumption that they're working hard here, they're invested, they're all in. They need to show up an hour a day for 6 straight months. If someone's willing to do that, they're going to see a massive change. And not just a massive change in their body, a massive change in their body and a massive change in their brain. An hour a day for 6 straight months. And so I did the math. And what does that come out to? 130 hours. Well, I fudged the numbers a little bit. It doesn't come out to exactly 130 hours. You see, here's the thing. In 6 months, there's 26 weeks. I'm just getting my calculator out. There's 26 weeks. Realistically, for people that live in the real world, they're probably not training every single day for an hour. It's unrealistic a little bit. I mean, I think people should do it. It's what I do. It's what I demand of my clients. But for most people, it's not going to happen. Listen, you got a life. You got a wife. You got a husband. You got kids. You got a job. Frankly, you have a bunch of other fun things that you want to do. So you're probably not showing up 7 days a week. But you definitely can show up 5, and don't tell me that you can't. So for 26 weeks, at 6 months, I need you to show up an hour a day, 5 days a week. And what's that the equivalent of? 26 times 5. There is your 130-hour rule. So if you're watching this video, I need you to forget about the magic pills out there. I need you to forget about the 3 easy payments of $9.99. You need to be invested an hour a day, 5 days a week for 6 straight months. And that's where I lose people. Let's just use an Olympic athlete or a professional athlete as our model. You want to know why LeBron James is great at basketball? Because he does it all the time. You want to know why Michael Phelps is the greatest swimmer and arguably the greatest Olympic athlete of all time? Because he lived in a pool. He was training 1,300 hours a year for 10 years straight. What does that look like? You're looking at 20 to 25 hours a week. His full-time job was swimming in a damn pool. That's what it takes to be good. And all of a sudden, you're going to figure out how to do 4 sessions a week for 20 minutes. I don't care how hard you work. That's not going to cut it. It's not going to cut it if you want to win the CrossFit Games. It's not going to cut it. You want to play in the NBA or the NFL. It's not going to cut it if you just want to change your life. You have to put in effort. You have to pay the cost. And there's no way to cheat it. And I know what you're thinking. You don't want to wait 6 months. You want it now. You have a high school reunion coming up. You have a wedding coming up. The summer's coming up. You want it in less time. Well, maybe we don't have to wait 6 months. You see, maybe we can pay it in 3 months, but the cost doesn't change. The 130-hour rule stands. So if you're not willing to wait 6 months, we can do this in 3 months, but you're going to have to double the workload. You're doing 2-a-days at this point. Instead of doing an hour a day, 5 days a week, you're doing 2 hours a day, 5 days a week. So you're going to need to be doing 2-a-days for 3 months. You see, you can cut the time, but you can't cut the end cost. The end cost stands. So you pick. You want to do it in 6 months, and it can be comfortable if you do it in 6 months, or you really, really want to hurt and do it in 3 months. And I've seen people do it in both. The question is, what are you willing to give? What are you willing to pay? What cost are you willing to, again, pay to hit your goals? Either way, the 130-hour rule stands. And I've seen actors do it in 3 months. But they are working hard. They're working out twice a day. They're eating perfect. They're sleeping 8 to 9 hours a night. They're getting massages. They're getting acupuncture. They're doing everything they can do. So when you see somebody on the TV make one of these incredible transformations, oh, they're doing it. They're putting in the work. They're working hard. But there is a massive cost. Again, you decide how fast you want to pay this 130-hour rule. You want to pay these 130 hours in 3 months or 6 months. That's up to you. But there's a couple of additional things that I want to talk about with the 130-hour rule. Because one of the tongue-in-cheek comments I get on social media is, well, why don't I just do 130 hours straight? Man, I could just do this in a week. It doesn't work like that. You know why? They have to be quality hours. Let's be real about this. These 130 hours, they have to be quality. You have to go hard. You're not going to the gym. You're not going to what I call the global gym, right? The Equinox, the 24/7 Fitness, the Lifetime, whatever. You're not swiping your membership card and walking slow on a treadmill. Like if you're getting an hour in that 130-hour rule, you want to pay those 130 hours, they need to be quality. You are sweating. You are breathing. You are feeling nauseous. You are pedal to the metal. You are all gas, no brakes. You're not exercising anymore. You're not even working out anymore. And I'm very careful how I choose my words. You are training. You're not just showing up. You're not just swiping the membership card. You are training. So that's why you can't train 130 hours in a week. They need to be quality hours. In addition to the quality hours, you have to do all the supportive work that comes along with it. You got to be sleeping 8 hours a night in a completely blacked out environment. So in addition to the 130 hours, you also got to be sleeping 8 hours a night, and you have to eat a clean diet. You can't fill your body with garbage and trash and expect yourself to perform well. I've said this before, I'll say it again. No one outworks a bad diet. And so you got to eat right, you got to sleep right, and you got to accumulate those 130 quality hours. If you can do that in 3 months, if you're doing 2-a-days, or 6 months, if you're working out hard, and I mean hard, 5 days a week for an hour, not 49 minutes, not 59 minutes, not 59 minutes and 30 seconds. Like you're really getting a hard hour every day. Then you will make a transformation. Then you will see a meaningful change. Then you will lose that fat, build that muscle, get shredded, like have the body of your dreams, like whatever your goals are. But you have to put in the time and effort. And I'll end this video by saying this. You want to get good at something, you got to do it every day. So stop looking for shortcuts. Stop looking for 3 easy payments of $9.99. Stop looking for magic pills or hacks and just get to work. That's it. Get to